I can't think. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? I can't. What am I supposed to do?
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Bill. How the hell are you guys going? God, it's been a long week, hasn't it? But this is what we've been waiting for, or what I have been waiting for. Bit of Lindsie. But I am so aware that everyone has been reacting, and that's why I tend to always prefer to cover Katie, Katie's past, because I don't like adding to it's too much. But yeah, so it sucked in because you've probably heard it all, and now it's just me, and it's like, oh God, the pressure's on. I am a spirit animal. I mean, my spirit animal is a snail, so always behind the pack. Also, guys, 1.7K. Like, oh my God, there's 1.7 thousand cacti in the cacti crew now. Let's do Cactus high 10 times whatever. I don't know. That's really awesome. And I fucking appreciate it. And it's so weird for me that I don't know. I can't think, because really, I just want to bring this in. I want to do something a little bit different to start off with. I just want to read a few of my favorite tweets from about Lindsie from Katie's WOACB official. I got it close to a year ago. So we're in July. We're going back to July 7th, 2021. And then the next one will be July 30th. Pretty close to June, but, no fucking cigar. But we don't smoke cigars on this channel. I'm just going to bring it up because I just need to bring it up for you. I'm just going to read it. So like I said, yeah, July 7, Katie says, having a friend that will literally be there for you through thick and thin is the best gift. I just want to say I have a friend like that who gets me, defends, loves, laughs, and fights for me. I hope you all have a friend like that. Love you, Lindsie. And then, it's the love heart with the glycering love. That real power boom. Okay. And now July 30th. Oh, no, that was July 17. God, I didn't see that one before. Put my glasses on now. Yeah, July 30th. Is it coming up on the screen? Oh my God, I almost clicked out of everything. This one says, one thing I know to be true about Lindsie is that she doesn't need anyone to be her mouthpiece. Her mouthpiece. Not even Satan. She has 2 podcasts and a large following. If she needs to say something, she says it. She has never relied on me to speak for her. She's a strong woman that stands on her own. Isn't it just so, again, everything that you aren't, Leafy? And she continues, she's a wonderful friend with a kind heart, and she's incredibly loyal. She's been through a lot in the past few years, and right now she's going through a divorce. So I'm going to go back to being there for my friend. Leave my attorneys to worry about the rest. Your attorneys. I think that's it. I don't remember it going on. Okay. And now I will just bring us back. Look, this is me trying to act like I know what I'm doing. Just fucking, as soon as I bring attention to talking and doing something at the same time, my brain goes, you think that it's that easy? We'll make it hard for you. And here we are at what I'm going to be listening to. Well, for the first time, I haven't really listened to anyone else's videos because like I haven't had time. But yeah, because I just got back into town last night. I was so impressed that like YouTube actually does work when you schedule stuff. So that was my first scheduling videos. But I was thinking maybe we should do like the 2 edited videos and then we have like a live at the end of the week and then just go over everything. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Hi, everyone in the chat. Oh, also, before I forget about it, if you want to go one level up from the Cacti crew, the Cacti contributors are the members and they are the ones with the Cactus badge. And if you want to get that and some members only lives and stuff, you can go to the description, scroll down, find the Cactus, it's there. Otherwise, it's pinned in the chat as the pinned comment up the top. Yeah, and you get shout outs as well. And tonight, totally clueless, where the hell are you? I can't see you. So you've probably heard a bit too much of the Lindsie tonight. So I can understand. I hope that you are part of the replay crew. If not, where the hell are you? I know, what is it? What's that Aussie tourism ad? Where the bloody hell are you? Well, I can't remember what it is. Thank you so much for being a Cacti contributor. It means the world to me. And yes, I appreciate you. And Cacti high five. Let's press play. Is it where I left it? Yes, it is. But I might have to go back because I was listening to her lawyer talk, Lindsie Chrisley. So first off, her lawyer talks. Should I bother talking to people that don't know what's going on? I wonder if I should just throw in here that Coffee Convos is a podcast with Kale from Teen Mum and Lindsie Chrisley. They are actually friends. Yeah, it's amazing. They have a really good friendship. Like that last week's episode, I'm not sure how I ended up listening to it, but they were talking about when you asked your partner how, like, knowing your partner's sexual past, the numbers. And yeah, Lindsie was like, oh, I wanted to know everything when I was 19 and got with like her ex. And then she's like, now I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm like, yeah, who can even remember? Who wants to know? You want to know everything when you're young, and then you just fucking regret it because that's what your 20s are for, like learning and regretting and failing. And oh, but Katie's doing all that at her 40s. Okay, so I'll have to go back. Like I said, I was listening to, like, it was at 58 or something that started. Do you want to listen to because her lawyer talks, and let me tell you, is pretty easy on the ear. Plus, I think he has tattoos, and Lindsie just painted a really nice picture that made you not really too annoyed that you're listening to a lawyer describe stuff, because when you're not really here for that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. You always know what I'm saying. So, fuck, I went past my own little timestamp. It's fuck. Story of my life right now. Join the opera. Oh, you're going to be like that? Fuck you. 10 seconds off. So just, I'm going to bring it down to 1.2. So I find 1.5 is a little fast. Where's my volume? Okay, guys, are we? Oh, hang on. Will's like got information in the chat. Should I just have a little look? Okay. I'm just going to press play. Are we all ready? Okay. Oh, you're like, we've already heard it. No, I know. Okay. So, fuck. I get to listen to the lawyer again. Yeah, I don't know either. It's like dumbfounding, isn't it? What kind of idiot would insert themselves into a federal case and proclaim that what they say is factual, even though they are reading court documents when they get served, they are screaming, it's all alleged, it's all alleged. Well, it's fucking all alleged. Except Katie doesn't know this language, does she? Time after time, although this is way back when. This is like 2020 when, or even, yeah, was it 2020? Was Lindsie a federal witness? Oh, I should have like looked at the finer details, but let's get back to, do you like it like this? I felt like the white screen was too blinding for me. And it's only audio, so Let me have a little bit of the screen, right? Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Look, I was like so proud of myself. And now I clicked the wrong button. Why does this whole week? We'll just go back a bit. Sorry, we're back on track now.
The federal government. No. So you would never have been a government witness, nor did I ever think that the government was going to use you as a witness.
Great to know. Okay, next question. Why does it seem like public figures are allowed to be falsely reported on, but then cannot speak on it? And a second part to that question, once you answer that, is how hard is it for public figures to prove defamation, libel, and slander?
Okay, well, let's take defamation first. Okay, defamation is the umbrella, and underneath that are libel and slander. Slander is disparaging somebody with the spoken word, whereas libel is using the literal word, writing newspaper articles, broadcasts, things like that. Okay, so libel and slander fall under defamation, and public figures are deemed to have put themselves in a position of public attention, and therefore, if you're considered a public figure, there is a higher standard for a public figure to prove defamation in any way. So you have to prove that there is actual malice, okay, which is a very high bar. And the reason being is because, you know, it's believed that because you've placed yourself in a position to be noticed, you're also placing yourself in a position to be ridiculed. It's difficult to speak back on it because their standard is different because you're not suing a public figure. And additionally, you may win, but it's still going to cost you. You never really win the case, right? It costs you thousands of dollars in litigation. I mean, in this country, you can sue anybody for anything, anytime. And once you get involved in that system, you know, it's just churning it out. You got to even wonder if it's even worth going after it because it just seems pointless.
Right. I think that it comes down to if you decide that you want to take litigation on and view that as a sport, or if, you know, you just decide it's not worth it. I think it's very hard as a public figure when you hear things about yourself that is false. Reporting is false and appears to be reckless, is intentionally trying to harm you with the reporting.
All of those things are important, but you have to prove actual malice, which is a very anomalous thing to try to prove.
Would Mel like, I can't remember, but like knowing like how Katie goes through, she takes stuff away from the public stuff and she starts going through people's personal stuff. Wouldn't that show intent to harm? Like show some malice that she's digging for stuff. And then when she gets called out by these larger public figures, which obviously with TATI, Katie was smearing like false shit about her business that was coming from Swanson, just a lot of garbage. In order to save her business, she had to go after Katie. Katie wouldn't stop. Four fucking cease and desist. What kind of idiot ignores that? This is so good, but there's so much information. I'm like, God, I wish I knew more. I wish I knew more about the law. Probably should have done a little bit of a...
And you know, I do want to say when you get into the business and become a public figure, I think that it's unfair for people to say, oh, well, you chose this life and you chose these things, right? It's like there's certain things that I signed up for and then there's certain things that I didn't. And an example of one of those things would be, you know, people out here posting identifiable information about me, whether that be addresses that I've lived at, things that are personal information about me that would not be important for the general public to have knowledge of. And so it's stuff like that that I really just can't get behind.
Oh, I completely understand that. I mean, I think I read there's some kid on Twitter that follows Elon Musk and all of those other people's planes, and they're trying to shut him down. I mean, I can see that it's a security risk. It puts you and other people in your position in danger, and there needs to be some sort of limitation. The issue there is the litigation itself. If you're like you said, if it's a principled litigation and you don't care how much money you spend in order to get the result you want, think, for example, Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, chances are he's not going to see, he'll see 10 cents on the dollar of what he spent. But it was a principled litigation. And that was the point there.
Well, and I think also when you're talking about principal litigation as a public figure, and you referenced Johnny Depp, it's more so of you have now gone out here and slung mud on my name, and now I need to defend myself to clear my name because I know what I do and what I don't do. And I think that that's where it becomes hard when you're talking about litigation and spending money. At some point, maybe it's not as much about the money as it is about the principle.
I agree 100%. And there are people out there that are fortunate enough to be able to do that, to defend themselves.
There's only one person that doesn't care about their fucking business. Katie. She'll, do the carousel from hell every few months on her business Twitter account, has no fucking care about what she's known for. Probably doesn't even, just, God, it's hard to even get your head around her whole.
Unfortunately, there are others that aren't. And that's where it puts you in a position where you have to make like a calculated decision. Like, what is the cost benefit analysis of me doing this? Are these people online really even a blip on the radar, or are they really damaging and affecting my brand? And are they doing it with actual malice? That's where it comes in.
Right.
Chances are many of these people that are doing this aren't of the means of the people they're doing it to. So they're doing it to a celebrity and they're not celebrities, let's say, right?
Right.
So, they can find they can find themselves in a boatload of litigation, say, right?
Right.
So, they can means of the people they're doing it to. So they're doing it to a celebrity and they're not celebrities, let's say, right?
Right.
So, they can find themselves in a boatload of litigation if the person thinks that they're even important enough to litigate with.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
I think when you continually get poked and a person doesn't let up, that at that point, that's when it's time to evaluate the pros and cons of a litigation and say, okay, I've given this person fair chance, or people, or, tabloid, whatever you want to call it, fair chance. And then they just continue. So, okay. So
Lindsie, before you go on, I just want to say, is there any kind of where cyberbullying laws can also be applied? Because like she said, she told them to stop and then they continue. They meaning Katie, although it's a we and it's live. Fuck, I don't know where I'm going. But you know what I'm trying to say? It could be the harassment and the mental drain that it would take on someone, like constantly worried that how far the word is going to travel. Because until I looked into all this and like Katie's side and stuff, like I think I might have believed that there was a sex tape, like actual physically existed, but in my opinion, there's only word of it and a lot of like blackmail or something. I don't know, like allegedly, quick, get out of here, just press play. Fuck.
next question, where is the line exactly with defamation and freedom of speech?
Actual malice for public figures and false statements that are damaging to a person's professional, sexual orientation, or health, I believe, from law school. I'm trying to think back for someone that is not. So for example, if I deliberately lied to destroy someone's business, then they have actual damages against me and neither one of us are public figures. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. But it's different when you're dealing with someone that's a public figure who has to prove actual malice rather than recklessness.
Okay. Good to know. Okay. Next question. People are reporting that I perjured myself in court in my parents' federal trial. Could you advise on what perjury is and why that was or was not the case. And then outside of that, explain the ramifications of simply being accused of perjury.
Well, I mean, being accused of committing a crime, I'll start right there. When you didn't commit a crime, it's as bad as being accused of anything terrible, right? You know, you're whatever, you're a criminal.
This is where, I mean, like, Katie doesn't understand the words she's using. Like, she'll just pick it up and throw it in there, thinking that, like, by using the word perjury, she sounds like she knows what she's talking about, the lawyer with the terms. Whereas, like, the weight behind that word of saying, accusing someone of committing perjury, live broadcasting it, has so much fucking, ow, I just kicked my, maybe,
it could be you're a this, you're a that. In this case, it's you're a criminal, is what they're saying. And you know, if you look under 18 USC chapter 79 under the U.S. Code, perjury says that the person who takes an oath must make a statement that they believe is false knowingly at the time they make the statement. So if somebody were to come to me and tell me, hey, by the way, you know, such and such happened, and then all of a sudden I get a call from the FBI and they say, what do you know about this? And I repeat, I heard such and such happen. Well, I just repeated what I heard. I didn't in any way perjure myself because I didn't say anything that was a lie, and I knew to be a lie at the time I said it.
And I think that,
oh, Katie, if you're listening, I have a brilliant example. Remember when you said, like, in your TATI, you like did in your sworn declaration, you said that you had no subscribers in Washington, and then, you know, they came back and said, well, you've just perjured. Is it perjured? Is that a word? I'm going to say it is. Perjured yourself. And and then you said, well, at that time, it was of my belief that I didn't. Oh, look at me putting two and two together and delivering with such beauty.
that is what is important here in this specific situation, because I don't want to speak too much on it myself, because you were very present in the courtroom, sitting next to my siblings when I was testifying. And I can simply say that I did not perjure myself in any way.
I laugh when I hear that. So just so you know, I laugh when I hear that, because clearly it's someone that has no idea what the law is and has no idea what happened, right? There's no way anybody could see what you did and consider that to be perjury. It's just not. Anybody claiming that must be untrained in the law, to say that nicely.
Well,
it's just not. Anybody claiming that must be untrained in the law, to say that nicely.
Well,
and Katie, by saying that, he means you're no Emily Baker. She's nearly at 1 million. Isn't it fantastic, Katie? And you're kind of like stalled at where you are, because you're like, should I buy more subs or should I pay my lawyer?
I will just say also, outside of that, you and I have very publicly defended my position in regards to things that have happened in the past. And as you and I were doing that, there was limited knowledge from an entire party that we didn't have access to during that time that we were defending what we were led to believe was the truth. And so to allege that there was any type of perjury by anyone, to me, is reckless reporting, intentionally trying to harm someone and create false narrative. And this person doesn't have all the pieces of the puzzle to be able to make a reckless statement in that regard.
You know, anybody online, like I said, basically they're in an echo chamber trying to get attention, right? And what they're reporting on you is so blatantly false that it's an echo chamber
puzzle to be able to make a reckless statement in that regard.
You know, anybody online, like I said, basically they're in an echo chamber trying to get attention, right? And what they're reporting on you is so blatantly false that like you said, it's laughable to me. In your situation, there was never a time that you have wavered in your story and what you said happened. And there was never a time that you were even remotely different in what happened. And frankly, I think there are still some things that might still bother you. It might be out of my place for me to talk, but you know, just because you testified, it doesn't mean that everything is, you know, daisies and roses. That's all I'm saying.
Correct.
I'm
Correct.
saying
And
I'm saying you went in there to tell the truth. You didn't go in there to do anything else, and it clearly came across that way.
well, I will say that it's hard when your character is called into question and you are basically said to be a liar about something when my story has never changed. I became more knowledgeable of more information over the time of my story, but my story has never wavered. So for
Unlike yours, Katie, all the stories you tell, all your personal stories, even the stuff that has to do with like law, you can't keep a story straight. You have no truth that you know. So I can't even imagine being a liar. Actually, it would just be a head fuck in itself, wouldn't it? The amount of lies you have to tell to come up for the lies for what you told before, but then being you and having a 30-second memory.
it's very hard to hear when I come open and honest and choose to be honest about things when sometimes I don't want to be, because I feel like I owe it to the people who tune in and listen to me every week on either of my shows or my social media. They're tuning in there every week or every day. That's harmful to me.
Of course it is. Those are what you consider to be actual damages, right? When you're when someone is damaged, they can say that they're emotionally damaged, they can say that they're physically damaged, but there's also damages that you suffer economically as a result of these types of statements. And to go back to it, I want to go back to the same parallel with the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation. He had lost hundreds of millions of dollars from losing the franchise movies that he was in, and now he's back in them. So if you look at that suit, you can see that they believe that there were actual damages there. They believe that the conduct that was stated was so reckless and malicious that it cost him X amount of dollars. And frankly, the fact that they decided that they're going to renew the franchise after he won proves it.
Right. Yeah.
So it just goes to show how much damages there are. Now, a lot of people are complaining about that ruling, saying it makes it easier, to sue people. I guess
it creates some kind of case law around that. Would that be correct?
It would in that jurisdiction there in Virginia, but it's also something that changes the course of public opinion, and public opinion is what changes legislation.
Correct. Okay. Do you think that the law needs to change surrounding media reporting? Do you feel like they should go directly to the source to obtain all facts prior to reporting something? And outside of that, in your opinion, what do you feel is the difference between actual media reporting and gossip bloggers and YouTubers? Do you feel like it's reckless for reporters to not report on an entire story, but just cherry picking bits and pieces?
Well, the cherry picking bits and pieces is something that real reporters won't do, right? So if you're talking to a real reporter, you're going to be dealing with somebody who's going to be, dealing with sources that are reliable. That's something different. If you're dealing with Bob Woodward, if you're dealing with somebody, Maggie Haberman, people like this, right? This is different than some guy running around Atlanta with a phone claiming to be a journalist, following celebrities around and making up stories, right? That's not a journalist, that's just a troll. So, I mean,
I love you, mate. You're fucking awesome. Cactus, high five to you, legend. But oh my gosh, it's just so like Katie needs to hear this. I hope she's listening. She's probably already tuned out. She wants her minions to tell her what is going on. And that's what gossip is, because gossip is really hearsay. Do you reckon Katie ever played Chinese whispers? Do you reckon she relayed the exact message that she was whispered in her? Oh, they'd have to have friends. I don't know how that would go down, but what do you reckon? She's always like, you don't need credentials to be a journalist. Okay, go and get a job at fucking I don't know, what's her favorite network? CNN. Walk in there with no fucking credentials, and all you've got is, without a crystal ball, one fucking Google search of your name, Katie. You don't care about your character. Your character is smeared by you, even though you fucking point your finger at every single person. It's so weird how you just can't point your finger at you. Oh, I can't get your fingers out of my fucking head now because your fingers aren't even, they're bitten. The only time you bite your fingers is when you're pointing at yourself. That doesn't make sense.
So I have to differentiate the two. I think that there are journalists out there that have created a name for themselves by using YouTube. I can think of one that comes off the top of my head. It was the Young Turks, and now they have like an actual news station, right? So, but then, when you go on there and somebody's telling you that President Obama is an alien shapeshifter, then you got to be like, wait a second, maybe this person is not the right reporter for the story. And so that's where you really have to draw the line. I think that if there's somebody out there that is a legitimate reporter for a legitimate story in a respected newspaper, or the person is respected and has the sources to back up what he wants to, yes, but they can report and say, my sources tell me. But I think anybody just getting on there and making up, their imaginary friend can't be their source, basically.
So next question. You have been
on there and making up sources to back up what he wants to, yes, but they can report and say, my sources tell me. But I think anybody just getting on there and making up, their imaginary friend can't be their source, basically.
So
Katie has never had a source. We all know this. She only started saying my source after Pathio's erased her whole bull dang of a crap catalogue of articles that had no evidence. But yeah. And then she decided, look, if I just say source, it covers everything I say. It's bloody brilliant. I don't even need to say who the source is because that's between me and them, Fuck, she's dumb though. Everything, most of her source is basically Doug's snark. Although she tries to wait a bit now. She can't, she'll wait about 3 weeks. Okay. Let's get back. This is so good. I just love it that, yeah, he's got some sass, doesn't he? Is Emily going to comment on this? Does she comment on other lawyers and how good their voice sounds? It's going to be bad if I do a Google and look up what he looks like, and then I'm like, the voice doesn't match the face.
Next question. You have been in my life for what feels like a very long time. We've been on this journey together for some time. And this is a topic that has come up for many, many years. I have put my foot in my mouth on this topic a couple of times that I will acknowledge, and we can get into that. But what are your thoughts on the media attempting to out a reconciliation in the family before we are ready to publicly address that? And do you feel like that could be harmful in your opinion?
Yes, clearly. Okay, now this is something where maybe people should back off a little bit and let it take its natural course. Anything that is going to be forced is not going to work. And I think that that's what would be happening, they'd be forcing a situation unnaturally. And as a result, it could do damage to any type of relationship or any repairing of any relationship that two parties might have when they disagree. You're getting these, and I keep calling it an echo chamber because that's what it is. It's you go find what you want to hear, and you go online and you just keep hearing it. That's what you want to hear. You're looking for affirmation rather than information. So yeah, I think it could be very harmful.
I think that it's fair to say people who tune in and listen to this podcast, they listen to the Southern Tea and watch my social media or my family's social media. I think it's fair to say that there is public interest in what's going on behind the scenes, reconciliation, if that's ever a possibility, possible returns to Chrisley Knows Best, working on projects together, all of those things. It would be naive to say that that's not of interest because, we publicly live our lives. And I think that people have every right to be interested in that. But at the same time, I think the pressure of media, and not all media, but certain media pressuring to tell the world about a reconciliation that they have no idea about or the intricacies of that is very reckless and very harmful. And I think that it's a double-edged sword, right? Because if I went on Instagram, on this podcast, on my other podcast, and talked about this alleged reconciliation, it might come off as there is an agenda behind that versus doing the actual work behind the scenes to put the pieces back together where they need to be. And maybe not even putting the pieces back together, but forming new pieces. That to me is a much better approach because that is my real life. And I'm having to live that every day. And I'm not living that to appease my followers, my listeners, whatever, but it's what's what's right for me in my personal life, what's right for my family, what's right for my son, and as a collective unit to be able to move forward. And as I said before, I put my foot in my mouth by going on record and saying there's never a possibility for any type of reconciliation. And I will go on record today and say I should never say never in any situation, because you don't know what's going to happen in the future to be making statements like that. So that.
You know what I like about her? Like, she's grown. Like, you can so tell just listening to her. She's so aware of like what she has done and how it's been perceived and how the public view her. But did she refer to it when she's talking about the media, talking about a reconciliation? She's not referring to that random YouTuber, is she? Because didn't we just say that that's not the media? Or is this other media like E-News and stuff? I don't know what other people are saying. But I think that it's always like, I think that people, maybe because of social media and Twitter, they forget that lawsuits and that are private, are personal matters. And like speculation on that stuff speculation should stop with the show. Like, you are there watching the show. Anything else that's personal and behind, like beyond that. God, I can't talk tonight. Anything that's beyond the show, that's personal, private, should not be spoken about. But I just wonder, like, the damage that Katie is doing for any other person reporting on like tea and gossip. Like, I think we spoke about this when she was with Tati. There's going to be she's just pushing so many boundaries. She's going to make it so that there will be there should be rules for her. Everyone else got a fucking moral compass, knows where the boundaries are. She just pushes and pushes and pushes. Okay. And plus, like, just the whole Katie doesn't understand, like, putting father against daughter, messing with the family, what she's putting out there. It's just fucked, man. Why get involved unless you want something?
Me to say.
I think that there are times when privacy is required. And for any person that is, like you said, if you got on the air and you said, hey, there's a reconciliation or whatever, right? Half the people on Instagram or Twitter are going to love it. And the other half are just going to hate it just because that's in their nature, right? So, it really has to do with authenticity and not caring about that. Now, you and I both know there's a lot more to it than this. You and I both know the history and everything in much more detail than anybody else. So I know exactly where you're coming from. And I know, it's hard to say always and never. And sometimes we say them and regret them. But in this circumstance, I think that what needs to happen is a family just needs to take time and sit. And I really like what you said, build new pieces.
And just for the listener, so they can get a more inside view without me speaking much more on a reconciliation. You are familiar with my family and pretty much met everybody, I think, at this point. And obviously you're my legal representation, but also a personal friend. From the inside, but outside looking in, do you think what I'm saying is completely accurate in the way that I am describing reconciliation?
100%. You're being as transparent and foregoing a lot of privacy. I mean, you are a public figure, but it's an uncomfortable topic to discuss, but you're being as transparent as you can be. So it's not easy to live with such little privacy.
I will also go on record today and say that I love my parents. I love my siblings. I love my grandmother. And what is the future of our relationships at this point? I'm currently not going to discuss any more than that, other than the fact that I love them and I stand with them, and I will continue to stand with them through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
And I'm very proud of you for that.
Wow. Well, that was a conversation that you and I had not had. So
we haven't been to the trampoline park in a while.
And that is something Katie does. Like, she is not loyal to her family. She's not going to support her family. She doesn't care about her family. She's glad they had a disagreement and they only see each other once a year at Christmas when they drop presents over for her son. My gosh. She's just like I said, she doesn't understand. Like, no matter what, Lindsay's always going to love her family. Katie I swear that she wanted, in my opinion, I feel like she wanted Todd Chrisley to be scared that she was friends with Lindsie and what Lindsie would be telling Katie. Like, that's what it seems. But then I haven't saved it to my watch later, the Renell's video. Was it yesterday's video where was Lindsie feeding Katie information, which wouldn't be surprising because Swanson did. If I wanted to get some information out there, I probably would have lined up for Satan's mouthpiece. Satan has no fucking morals. Katie doesn't understand. Oh, by the way, like, this is on Katie's Instagram. When she's talking out against the Duggars and stuff, like, she's been called Satan's mouthpiece or something. I don't know why I can't talk tonight, but yeah. And then she thought that was amazing, so she made a picture. Actually, Toad made a picture with his beautiful skills because he is the artist. But yeah. Anyway, it made her into Satan, and she was loving that compliment. No, Satan doesn't have, he doesn't care who he hurts. Like, she's so dumb. Fuck. I'm just going to go and have a look. Oh, had they finished? Should we press play and just hear the last bits?
I know. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and talking to me about all of this stuff. I really appreciate it. And it's always so fun to just carry on a conversation with you. I love legal talk.
You're going to end up being a lawyer one day.
That's what people have been saying since I was like 5 years old. So maybe I can apprentice under you.
Having argued with you, I can see that you kind of have the natural streak in you. So, well, I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much. If you ever need me again, I'm here.
For everyone who is listening to us, make sure that you follow us on @CoffeeConvos Podcast on Instagram. And if you have not subscribed to us, you can do that by searching the Purple Podcast app, type in Coffee Convos, click subscribe, click the 5th star, leave us a written review. You can also find us on any other podcast app.
Oh, so there we go. I almost feel like I need to listen back. There was so much to it. He had some really good echo chamber. He used some terms that I really understood. And he used it with legal terms as well, which really made it my kind of cup of tea. But Lindsie does have that logical mind. You can hear it. She's so clear with her thought process as she's speaking. She's not muddled. She's able to correct her wrongs. She's able to see, the questions that she had prepared for him were fucking good questions. The difference between libel and is it libel and slander? We knew that. But yeah, the defamation and the public figure stuff and why a public figure would speak out. Like, of course, Johnny Depp would, when you've got the money as well. And it's about your name, your brand as a person that has been smeared by someone basically verbally making everyone believe stuff that's not true to get your attention. What did he say? It's someone who's sad and alone. No, he didn't. Did he say that? I wrote it down. I wrote something down. God. He has some good like little sound grabs. I'm just going over to chat and I'm just going to have a look and see what everyone's doing. Oh, hey guys. Hey, Captain Goose. Captain Goose. Alberta, how are you going? Squidward. Oh, Venda. Oh, man. Oh, she's just, oh, God. Even if, say, the delusions were real and Lindsie was her friend, just stop fucking reporting on her family. Have some fucking respect. Step back. How much do you really want to? But then she didn't really like Lindsie in the beginning. Remember that video where she finds out who is the co-host with Kale? And she finds out that it's Todd Chrisley's daughter. I remember, like, she didn't react very, like, she was very mean girl. I'm just trying to think. What video was that? Oh, it would have been related to the whole, like, Kale racist stuff. Okay, guys. Well, I'm going to add some timestamps to this, and that's what I'll be doing. But yeah, they'll be up soon. But I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Yeah, Nanny Faye. Like, oh my God, because I've only just found them and Nanny Faye and like found out that she wasn't the nanny, that she is actually the grandma. Remember when I got a bit confused with that? And yeah, and then just the emotion. Katie doesn't care, remains attacking. Who cares if someone's fucking grieving? KJ wanted to be co-host. Oh, Katie with a podcast. Can you imagine? Would it be like Janelle? Can Janelle and Katie do a podcast? That would be beautiful with Toad and UBT, David Eason, doing the crafts, the Etsy store, the merchandise, the designs. Oh my God, all in the she shed. Oh, I've lost my crap. I went too far because it's made me feel sick. Oh, she hates the idea of doing podcasts. I know, but she'd probably be able to get more subscribers by being a podcast because you want to be able to see her twiddling her hair, touching, like picking her nose, then rubbing it in her eye and just all the twitches. But I'll just bring it back to my thing, my cookie. Thanks so much, guys. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Gosh, I can't talk at all. Nothing's happening in my mouth. Thank God we're at the end. I want Lindsie to talk more, but you know, it's a fine line between personal and business and the need for the public to know. It wouldn't be there if people like Katie didn't go beyond the boundaries, because she's made people like her audience now would probably copy what Katie does and dig beyond the people they're into. Like, in my opinion, just like when she was reading out all the CSA details and stuff, she made people want those details now. Like, that's the fucked up thing. She's making mini hers, mini versions of her with every fucking word she says. It's putting a seed in someone's mind. Oh, that's a scary thought. Thanks, guys. Take care. And I'll catch up with the contributors this weekend. Got a live planned, so I'll catch you guys then. But yeah, 1.7K. Cactus fist pump in the air. I don't even know if a cactus can do that, but it should. Oh, Bender, I love your emojis. Yeah, just, what is it? I wanted to say multiplying, but mutation. Oh, that's a scary word, isn't it? 'Cause when you really think about it, multiplying like bacteria, that's Katie. It's too much. Thanks, guys. Please take care. It's a crazy world. Stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Well, I won't see you, and you won't see me, but you'll hear my voice. See you guys.